Last night, you heard the president say things like, we need to out-innovate, out-educate, out-build the rest of the world. We have to make America the best place on earth to do business. Yes, we do. And regulation ain't the way to do it. Here's why this failed to inspire. Because he's talking about not you, the individual, he's talking about the government. It is the opposite of what Paul Ryan said later. See if you, I was going to say hear a difference, but see if you feel a difference from the speech last night the president gave and just this one part from Paul Ryan.
The principles that guide us. They are anchored in the wisdom of the founders, in the spirit of the Declaration of Independence, and in the words of the American Constitution. They have to do with the importance of limited government and with the blessing of self-government.
I love that.
We believe that the government has an important role to create the conditions that promote entrepreneurship, upward mobility, and individual responsibility. We believe, as our founders did, that the pursuit of happiness depends on individual liberty, and individual liberty requires limited government.
And personal responsibility. I think he actually believes that, which is why I thought it was effective last night. The best line out of the speeches last night was that one, the blessings of self-government, the importance of limited government and the blessing of self-government. I didn't hear that from the president. I heard words, I heard cookies and fish sticks. The president talked again last night about how great China is, not just because of their keeping their kids in the training camps, the schools longer in the year and longer days, but this time it was about how bad we are because they're building faster choo-choo trains than we are here. He said, quote, our infrastructure used to be the best. Our own engineers have graded our infrastructure with a D, and we need to do better. Okay, let's start here. First of all, China, of course, builds stuff with ease. They practically have what progressives used to call slave and child labor. So they don't really have a problem with it. And they also don't have any environmental restrictions to worry about. They can dump poison into the river, and it doesn't really matter. Like, what are you going to do? They don't care if they roll railroad tracks for new choo-choo trains right over caribou mating grounds and the slave labor and child labor camps. But let's forget about that one. Let's see. He was talking about giving more money to infrastructure. May I remind you, I've heard this somewhere before. We looked it up. In fact, it was 2 years ago. He said this.
2 years. This plan will save or create 3.5 million jobs. More than 90% of these jobs will be in the private sector. Jobs rebuilding our roads and bridges, constructing wind turbines and solar panels.
They're everywhere.
Laying broadband, expanding mass transit.
It's crazy how that's been done. I don't think any of that's been done, do you? I mean, that was the point of the whole $1 trillion stimulus, right? Didn't we already spend $13 billion on fancy choo-choo trains last time? Last night was all about unity. I didn't get my little ribbon, but it was all about unity. And I think we can all unite on one thing. America doesn't need any more choo-choo trains. Enough. Amtrak loses money on 41 of 44 routes. And over $1 billion every year gone. You know why? Because nobody's riding it. Making them faster isn't going to help. Let me show you how the choo-choo train thing works. Here's the tracks. Ooh, look at this. Fly, California. Huh? That one nice? And here is here's a cargo train. It's great. Now let me show you what happens. Here in America, because that's what we're talking about, not that fancy Europe or China. Here in America, we have one set of tracks. And a choo-choo train that's carrying all of our stuff is using this track. And so are the really fast bullet trains. Uh-oh, choo-choo. That's why we don't build them here. We have to lay another whole set of tracks for the fancy choo-choo train. Also, if it doesn't go that way, then it would go this way. Here's the choo-choo using the same tracks. Bullet train going the same way. Bullet train coming really fast. This one's not going fast. Really fast. You see? That's how trains work. choo-choo trains. I think we're going to take the jet airplane. Yeah, because the choo-choo that goes really fast and costs us a lot of money has to slow down. Chugga, chugga, choo-choo. How do I know all of this stuff? High-speed rail, just the GAO. That's it. Government Accounting Office, they can't even put a price tag on this because they say the high-speed rail going to require new safety rules, regulations, constant public capital investment, and operating subsidies, constant. And balance that with freight rail service and the rest of the national transportation system. The planning necessary to meet the many concerns the GAO says, so you can't trust it, it's only the Government Accounting Office, says hasn't even occurred. Choo-choo. Could we do this? Let's fix reason firmly in her seat for a minute. Let's look at the country like this. You're a shareholder. You're an owner, okay, part owner. And you hired this guy to run the country. And he came in 2 years ago and said, I know it's going to be tough for you to swallow because even Dr. Evil said $1 billion. And they said, no, that's not a lot of money. He said, $100 billion. He was only a tenth of the way to $1 trillion. I know it's a hard number to swallow, but I need $1 trillion to fix the infrastructure and new choo-choo trains. And we're also going to do all kinds of new green jobs. He knew then that he was going to have to come back here and meet with you, the shareholder, in 2 years. Now, if I were that guy, I would have looked at my team and had said, I have to face these people in 2 years. I got to show them that they just invested $1 trillion to revolutionize something. What do I do? Because I got to knock it. I'm not going to be able to knock it out of the park everywhere, but I got to knock it out of the park somewhere. Can you help me with that so I don't walk in and look like a dummy 2 years later? Shareholders are going to kind of expect a business plan, maybe a return on their $1 trillion. No, what does he do? No, he doesn't. Where is the place that he's transformed? Because last night, I don't know if you heard it, I kind of went like this. Did he just ask for a double down on the stimulus to fix the same problem that he got the money for last time? That's not a business model, that's suicide. If you want to talk about future being green jobs, well, you said that 2 years ago. In fact, do you remember this example? Solyndra. Oh, here he is. Let me hold up this solar panel here. Wow, it's quite light. That's fantastic. I think it is light enough to be the future. Green jobs are the answer. This company was fantastic. He did this story, and he's bragging about it 2 years ago. Now, don't you think that after learning so much stuff about this light black thing I'm holding up here and shaking that person's hand, don't you think that maybe I should come back to the American people because I held it up as if we can just help this country, this company, it's getting $500 million in stimulus money. I got to show how great they are now. Because you remember them 2 years ago? Yeah, he didn't do that. He didn't do that. Because that company had to lay off workers and close factories after getting $500 million. It's that much of the company of the future. So what did he do? Well, he couldn't talk about that company, so he had to give a shout out, and I'm not kidding you, to 2 guys in a shingle company. Whoa! Shingles? 2 guys and shingles? You were giving me the shingles, President Obama. I don't know about you, but if I spend $1 trillion, I think I need a full report on what that money's doing. The charts, the stats, the graphs, you know. Not just, hey, I got these 2 guys who are living a dream on your dime making shingles. Not an investment, it's a scam.